Customer pilots directed almost 3,000 precision strikes last year. We're super proud of it. It allows you to separate the bad guys from the good. It's a big deal. But we have something much bigger. Your kids probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature. Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents. They used to say guns don't kill people. People do. Well, people don't. They get emotional, disobey orders, aim high. Let's watch the weapons make the decisions. Now, trust me, these were all bad guys. Now that is an airstrike of surgical precision. It's one of a range of products. Trained as a team, they can penetrate buildings, cars, trains, evade people, bullets, pretty much any countermeasure. They cannot be stopped. Now, I said this was big. Why? Because we are thinking big. Watch. A $25 million order now buys this. Enough to kill half a city. The bad half. Nuclear is obsolete. Take out your entire enemy, virtually risk-free. Just characterize him, release the swarm, and rest easy. These are available today. We have a distribution network taking orders from military, law enforcement, and specialist clients.
The nation is still recovering from yesterday's incident, which officials are describing as some kind of automated...
On the first day, Google DeepMind Labs wins the worldwide technological race and develops the first multi-purpose AI capable of human-level intelligence. The introduction is made official by showcasing the AI's abilities to beat humans and other existing AIs at multiple games simultaneously. The Google DeepMind Lab independently calls for other companies and agents to open source their respective works. American companies are urged by the government to release snippets of their code to contribute to the Deeper Mind project. Many companies such as Facebook, Microsoft, Intel, and Amazon release portions of their code, and DeepMind sends its gratitude while integrating it in its own source code.
That I've been working on that are sort of in this transitional border between narrow AI and more general AI. The term AI is a confusing one. I've written a bunch about it. I'm not going to be able to fully clarify it here. I mean, in a way, both the term artificial and the term intelligence are problematic, because, I mean, it's an artifice in a sense, but it's a natural system, and it obeys the laws of physics. And as AIs get smarter and smarter, they're not going to be anyone's artifice or tool. They're going to be their own minds. And on the other hand, the concept of intelligence is also somewhat vague and hard to measure. IQ tests don't even work across different cultures, let alone across different species or types of minds. Nevertheless, AI is a term everyone recognizes now from science fiction, if from nowhere else, and it's what we have to work with. The way I think about the concept of intelligence, which was a controversial way to look at it a few decades ago when I entered the field, and it is much less so now, I think about an intelligence as a pattern recognition system, but critically it's not just recognizing patterns in perceptual data, it's recognizing patterns in itself. It's recognizing patterns regarding which actions will be likely to achieve what goals in what contexts, and it's always doing so with limited energetic.
You're in the 140 range, and you're in the genius to near genius category. 195 to 200, well, you're talking one in several billion people. Now, historians figure that Einstein and Franklin scored about 160, Darwin 165, Galileo 185, Isaac Newton 190.
That means Langan could possibly be the smartest person in the world. When he's not working with the animals, he's busy with his CTMU, the Cognitive Theoretic Model of the Universe.
It's a theory that studies the relationship between mind and reality. In other words, what's out there in the real world, how does the mind relate to it?
And Langan is trying to prove nothing less than the existence of God.
Is there a heaven?
Yes.
How do we know that?
You don't.
So you believe or you don't?
It's not that simple. I happen to know there's a heaven because I know that you can use your will to create things. In other words, do you continue to exist after you die? Absolutely. Nothing in this universe is wasted. Nothing ever ceases to exist, really. The essence always remains preserved.
So who is this guy, and why haven't you heard of him? He began speaking at 6 months old, reading at 3, born in California, but constantly being uprooted.
We didn't have a lot of money, and the old man was always in need of a job, so we had to go where the work was.
He was poor, skipped a few grades. Teachers urged his classmates to be like Chris. So how did they respond? Well, they beat him up.
As a matter of fact, I had to fight my way through high school.
So at 12, he got into bodybuilding. He tried college, but never finished. It was costly, and, well, he was smarter than the teachers.
There's the fool, and there's Star, his mother.
So is Langan out here in what some consider the middle of nowhere, squandering a precious gift?
I mean, why am I not a famous politician or financier, filthy rich? Simply because those things don't mean that much to me. I'd rather have some meaning in my life, and this is how I get it.
52.
How many stars on the American flag?
Shit, we got 13 colonies, so 13 minus 50. 13 minus 50, goddamn, 47. 47. 47.
How many stars on this American flag?
I don't know, to be honest.
Are you an American?
Yes. My grandfather served in the United States Navy. And I think there's like 46 or something. I don't know.
Hold on 1 second.
Do I need to hold your flag?
Are you an American?
No.
No. Where are you from?
Brazil.
Brazil. How many stars on this American flag?
I should be 50.
50. You're right. These foreigners are smarter than many Americans.
God, I used to know this stuff. Crap. I don't know.
How many stars on this flag?
50.
Where are you from?
Sweden.
Sweden.
What's the biggest state in the U.S.? California.
Texas.
Texas. Texas, right?
California.
Texas.
Texas.
Alaska.
How many stars are there in the American flag?
13.
Who's Vice President of the United States?
I don't know. Who is our Vice President?
Isn't it a girl?
Hillary Clinton.
Barack Obama's wife.
John McCain.
Bill Clinton. Joe Biden.
That guy.
Who's Vice President of the United States? Who's Vice President of the United States?
Do you guys know what currency the UK uses?
What's the currency?
Euros?
Euros.
And what happened that ended up with your being here in the hospital?
The psychiatrist decided that this was the situation for me.
Did he tell you why?
No, the psychiatrist did not.
Has anybody told you why?
No.
Have you any idea why?
Yes.
And what is that?
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them.
And in what way are you different?
I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do. And this influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
Play the piano for people.
I'm not clear. How is it that playing the piano for people has eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital?
I sit differently when I play the piano, and when I'm away from the piano I occasionally look differently from other people, and this has caused dislike from people.
They dislike you because you sit differently at the piano?
Yes.
What way do you sit at the piano that people would dislike you?
I cannot describe an illustration of how I sit.